One stormy evening, two boys were watching an edited-for-television version of Lethal Weapon.
F you, I'm jumping! Do you really want to jump?
When one of their fathers entered the room and declared the program to be mind poison. Seemingly overnight, those boys became men, their minds filled with poison from endless hours of entertainment consumption. With no available outlet for release and therapy being rather costly due to high-deductible insurance policies, they decided to start a podcast instead. That podcast is Mind Poison. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We're your bastion for Trump-Putin saga enjoyment, and if you're pro, you're going to love us. No, we're not. We're not at all. If you're pro, go back and crawl into that hole you came out of. How's it going, Jesse?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good, although you really misled me on this whole Putin-Trump thing. I was getting ready to cheer.
See, I'm pulling in those views, those listens from those Trump fans who only hear, a couple words and then they're in.
Yeah, well, I know the listeners at home, but I can't see. I do have a lovely Russian flag behind me. It's a superimposed Russian-American flag. They're the same colors,
Das Vidanya.
Mm-hmm. Das Vidanya, indeed.
See, we pull in the Trump voters. We say, hey, pro-Trump, and then they slowly get skewed by our show, and the next thing you know, they've changed their ways. That's how I see it.
That's how you see it. Okay, yeah. I think it's more likely that one of us gets beat up.
Beat up?
Beat up. We're both going to get beat up real bad.
We're going to get rigmarolled.
I know. It'll be terrible. I don't know. I've never been in a fight, so I don't know if I can handle a fight with any Trumpers.
That's so funny. I was thinking about that for some reason, about talking about it on the show. You've never been in a fight?
No, I haven't.
Not once.
Not a physical fight.
Have you ever slapped a person?
Come
on, give me a little slap.
No, I've slapped. I feel real bad about this, but there was a friend I was playing basketball with in 8th, 9th grade. And
was this me?
No. I don't know. Maybe if I've slapped you, please tell me. But he was really fouling me like a lot. He was playing rough, and I just fucking slapped him in the face.
Old street ball rules.
Yeah. And I still look back at that like, God, that was pretty fucking rude.
You probably don't remember this. I think Deuce and I were playing basketball on your hoop.
Mm-hmm.
And we got into it, and we were wrestling around and fighting.
Ooh, it does sound a little familiar.
And I swear you locked us out of your house.
Yeah. That sounds like how I deal with conflict.
Yeah, I think it was the only time Deuce and I have ever scrapped, and I believe it was probably like around 6th grade in your driveway. Things got heated.
Things got a little heated.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, I hope I didn't have to call the cops.
I remember that it was kind of raining out. There's a real drama over in your lawn.
In the rain?
Yeah, in the rain.
It sounds real cinematic, Just like friendship comes to an end and the thunder claps.
Except it bonded us for life.
Oh, really?
They say once you scrap with someone, unless you kill each other, it bonds you.
Oh, I haven't heard that, but okay.
You haven't?
I need to start getting in some more fights then.
Hey, that's why boxers at the end of a fight come together and hug, and it's all love.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah. But it can't be, you can't kill them, because then there's nobody to reunite with.
So that's why Mike Tyson and who's someone he fought?
Buster Douglas, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield.
Yeah, he bit off his ear. You think they're friends now?
Yeah, I doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. So, big fucking news, bro.
What?
big fucking news.
Ooh. Okay.
I got an email to the Mind Poison podcast at gmail.com account.
Oh, one of our listeners sent us an email?
Sent us an email, and dude, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but all your fucking troubles are over, dude.
Really?
How much money would someone need to give you today to quit your job tomorrow and never worry about anything again and just do what you love, like this podcast 7 days a week?
You know, I mean, if I didn't want to get too greedy about it, I think I could make do on $500,000. You know, $750. You know,
Yeah, I think that's not unreasonable.
invest wisely, live within my means.
Just move out to the country, cut all your bills, or don't move out to the country.
Well, we need internet if we're gonna keep doing the show.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Dear friend, I am Mrs. Elena Anthony. I am sending this brief letter to solicit your partnership to transfer $5.7 million US.
What?
Yeah, dude. I shall send you more information and procedures when I receive positive response from you.
Ooh.
Please send me a message in my email box, mrselena.anthony1@gmail.com. Signed, Mrs. Elena Anthony. Dude, are you kidding me?
That seems like a pretty sweet deal, man. That's 10 times more than I asked for.
They told us we'd get rich doing a podcast.
Yeah, and it's all coming to fruition now.
And it's happening, so...
I mean, we have busted our ass for 19 episodes. Not many podcasts go that long, so.
That's true. So what do you think, dude?
Well, I am typing it in right now. Elena.Anthony. What do we need? Positive response?
Just send her a positive response.
Maybe a thumbs up emoji.
Send her a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Maybe a dick pic.
No. You know what was so dumb is I was about to say that.
Is this dick pic a positive enough response for you, Miss Elena Anthony?
Oh, boy.
Mrs., my bad. Mrs.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to send her that because she's married. And
Yeah.
she's a woman of honor and virtue. And
What degradation? Degradation. Degradation.
You know, I just think it would be best to just keep this all within one person because, I mean, she might get a little shaded out if she knows there's two people doing this. So maybe
True.
you just do the response.
Okay.
See how that goes. And I'll just take half the money. Is that cool?
5.7 million.
Oh, that's 2.85 each.
Welcome to Mind Poison.
Where we do math very slowly.
What do you think?
I don't think it's real. I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah, I'm very skeptical. I'm gonna give a negative response.
People aren't just emailing you with 5.7s.
I don't know. I mean, I just think even though it does take a really long time to like write an email and send it out, you know, you got to find the email address, you got to type up the email, you got to put the subject line in, you got to make sure everything's spelled, probably do all the links.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 15, 20 minutes per email for Elena Anthony, you know?
Who's using Google Translate to put it together.
So I don't know. I mean, that's a lot of time spent, but my spider sense is tingling. Something's weird here.
Do you think why is it that like this is the new version of scam email is that it's gotten this lazy? They used to be like, you won the lottery. Your uncle in Zimbabwe died.
Yes.
Like now it's just like, hey, 5.7 million. I'm not even saying it's yours. I'm just soliciting. me positive reply.
I would just like you to know that $5.7 million exists.
What do you need? What do I get out of this? You're not offering me a fucking thing.
Some kind words via email, I suppose.
Is this the Trump poisoning of the world?
I don't know. I did hear that these scammers are starting to be dumb on purpose. They're like having the real broken English and bad grammar and misspellings like automatically removes from the pool the smart people. So really the only people who would ever possibly reply are not only people who would get suckered in by this in the first place, but also don't have a lot of intelligence or reasoning skills. You know,
Jesus,
so it's
really?
yeah. So it's sort of like it's the bad grammar and whatnot. I think is almost like a vetting process for these guys.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good call.
That's some deep statistics they're working with.
Yeah. Plus, I do have the source of I heard. So, you know,
I heard. Yeah,
I heard from somebody.
Hey, that's as reliable as any source these days.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Because I did see Trump did recently say the things you're hearing about are not really happening.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
It's just like, oh, good.
Well, what did he just say? What did he just try to tweet the other day? That if anybody's gonna benefit from from election hacking, it's the Democrats. I've been really hard on the Russians. They really don't like me. Like, what in the fuck are you talking about, man? Who, like, clearly you're the scammer, like, speaking in broken English to reach the only people who are dumb enough to buy that fucking comment.
Yeah.
Like that's such a, like, blatant, goddamn ridiculous lie. And here, like, this article came out today that, like, they think CIA and NSA may have been able to, like, get some of his talk with Putin. And, like, some of the speculation is he was betting on Crimea and them even kind of using more hostile action to go into Ukraine and take over territories in Ukraine. Like, this country is being fucking betrayed by this dude. And he's just, like, got the audacity to, like, text this type of shit.
Yeah, he's that's impressive. That's impressive.
We are in a dipshit time in human history, but it works. All he has to do is tweet, "It's the opposite of what everyone's saying," and his dumb motherfucking voters. Oh yeah, it is the opposite of what everyone's saying. Right. Alex Jones, suck my dick.
That's why when that tape came out today, you know, the Michael Cohen tape that showed, you know, Trump was discussing payouts to a woman he had an affair with, where, you know, 2 months prior to claiming he had no knowledge of it. Like, for a normal politician, for a normal person, it would be like, he is now trapped in an obvious lie.
Right.
But that's all he's done is constantly being trapped in obvious lies. And it's not even going to matter. Like, every time something comes out about it, it's like, oh, there's this huge thing and this is what's really going to bring him down. It's like, no, his whole arc of his presidency has just been, I'm lying, I'm disproved, it doesn't matter. I'm lying, I'm disproved, it doesn't matter. You know? So, as much as you want something to happen,
nothing's going to happen. It's exhausting.
It is.
I mean, it's exhausting now to even see the liberal Dems, everyone, Republicans too, be like, this guy's full of shit. It's exhausting to see the effort even. Because the effort itself is exhausting. It's just like, it's not happening. Nothing's going to stick. He somehow has 4 out of every 10 Americans wrapped around his finger.
Yep.
And nothing you do is going to turn them, because these are your craziest of the conspiracy theorists. These are people who believe their world is being controlled by some mysterious shadow government. Like, they're putting way too much credit in the fact that Trump is an evil genius and 10 steps ahead. No. he is just fucking bumbling his way and texting and sucking down amphetamines, and like it's a joke. But these people think he's their savior, and there's really, like, at this point, he's done a brilliant job. He turned the credibility of the media on its head, which, you know, at times is to be questioned, but not always. And he'll take one instance of shit and make everything now just invalidated.
Right.
You know, so, and that's how he's doing it and winning.
He's a big winner.
He is the big winner.
Oh man, yeah, but it's still the people who could have done something about it. You know, even Mr. Paul Ryan, you know, had a speech lately where he was just like, "Oh, he's just trolling." They actually said, like, "Oh, our president, I think he's just trolling people." You know, when he was talking about revoking security clearances. And that's where we've gotten. And those are really the people to blame. The Republicans that could have done something and didn't. When
the whole bunch of them.
When the history books are written, if they are written, if we're not in some bizarre, you know, 2,200 and books are fucking illegal, this Republican Congress is going to go down as a real bunch of spineless cowards.
They're all spineless cowards, and the spotlight's being shined so brightly upon them now that it's so magnified more than ever that what these people are about is maintaining the status quo within their party and getting that paycheck and getting reelected. And none of these assholes are sticking up for the founding principles of this country, even the exact opposite of what their party is always harping on.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul Ryan's one of the worst. He's one of the most spineless. And he's stepping down. Clearly, one might think that it's a time where he could start speaking his mind, but obviously his agenda is party politics and probably a run at the governor.
Yeah, I would say chill out for a few years.
Yeah.
And then get back in the picture and see if his sort of Randian stuff will fly in, 2024 or whatever.
Right. And they're also scared to death of the Trump voter because they're out there and they're powerful. Clearly, he won.
and they are probably the most terrifying creatures on the planet. To be honest,
really are. So they know that they fucked up. I mean, everyone knows that the Republican Party in the United States was always propped up by the wealthiest people, and what they did is they threw a few bones to the poorest Americans. So they gave them gun rights, and they gave the hardcore Christians they placated with abortion. We're against abortion. So, but what finally happened in this country is that the peasants at the bottom, the uneducated nuts, not that every one of these people is, because they're not at all, but the bulk that brought them over the line in this election are just these kind of the lowest thinkers, the least educated, and they don't know how manipulated they're being. They really vote against their interest in every election, and there's been a crack in the system. So now these groups have learned, we can have some power. So now they've got fucking white supremacists, running and gaining power all over the Deep South, and their masters, the wealthy Republican corporate elite, is like, fuck, what happened?
Yeah, well, you guys done goofed.
You done goofed. You let the beast out of the bag, and there's no putting it back in now. The Republican Party, as you know it, is fractured to a point where it's basically the Tea Party exploded it, and now that's devolved into fearful white supremacist piece of shit garbage group.
Fearful. I'm trying to think of what a good an acronym for that would be, but I forgot. So here's a question: we're gonna split the country down the middle, Mississippi River style, One side gets half. Left gets half. The right gets half. Liberal, conservative. Which half do you want? Are you taking the West? Or are you taking the East?
I'm taking West.
You're taking the West. Yeah.
That's just probably because what I've always loved is the West, and where I've lived is the West.
Because you're a real cowboy.
West is the best, baby.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
But I don't think that's how they could possibly split it. It would just have to be like, well, what would they just move everyone who's one to the other? Is that what it is?
That's what you get. Here's the deal. We're splitting it in two. You got 5 years to get where you're going, and then we're just two different countries. That's
so is St. Paul on the east and Minneapolis is on the west?
See, well, that would be a real boon, I think, to it would either be a real boon or like a spot for warfare. But the spots along the Mississippi where the two sides meet, there could be some real action there.
Son, let me tell you about the Great Twin Cities War, 2024.
I'm with you. I would go West, young man, as well. But
West is the best. I think I think you've mentioned this before, and our buddy CC was talking about this with you about five countries. How there really need to be 5 countries.
Well, just that America is too goddamn big.
It's too big. There's too many different people.
Yeah.
Like you really, I don't know. Obviously, maybe it could happen. I don't know. Maybe a total world collapse, natural disaster, all this shit could, who knows where we'll be in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think, or the internet could go out.
Yeah.
That would probably help too.
The internet would help. Internet going out would help a lot of things. It wouldn't help us.
Well, that's why you gotta save all the mind poison downloads. Don't let your phone erase them. Keep them on there.
I've got them on a private hard drive.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
And on the cloud.
Ooh, the cloud.
God, the problems in this country currently run so deep and from so many directions. Like, I think we've where to start these days. It's like, is this the underlying opioid drug epidemic in our country feeling this shit? Because fucking statistics show that like half of our country is on drugs.
Drugs.
Drugs are good. Like, it's heroin, opioids, which is heroin. It's the pharmaceutical version of, and it's methamphetamines, which our president is also a partaker in.
This is where if I had a beer that wasn't open yet, I'd crack it open.
Right. But like, yeah, man, I mean, feel free to hit us up if you have suggestions, because it is just one of those things now where, I mean, I think for a long time in my life, I could kind of, and maybe you're just fooling yourself, but look at this problem and say, hey, these people are disenfranchised here, these people here, maybe this would work. But now it's just like, fuck, who even knows where to begin?
Where to even start, yeah.
I mean, mental health has a huge, that's a huge factor in this country.
But I don't even know if it's almost like a huge factor to the point where you can't even control it anymore. That it's like such a big problem now. Like, how do you even get out in front of that?
Well, and the system's so fucking broken.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be like I don't want to be the doom and gloom guy, but I just good luck, everybody.
That's why we're gonna see like these. We're just gonna see a fractured and segmented society. That's what I really think is happening. Yeah. We're gonna keep these people over here. They're gonna do all the drugs they want. They're gonna be dying by the dozens every day. I mean, I watched this documentary on Netflix the other day called it was like The Rehab Boys or something like that, and it followed these.
Oh, that sounds funny.
Yeah, The Rehab Boys. It wasn't the Trailer Park Boys, but not far from it.
I was watching this documentary called The Trailer Park Boys.
The Trailer Park Boys.
Life in Canada is different.
Yeah. Okay, but these kids, like, all in rehab, mostly heroin, opioids, It's mostly from the south because it's all the south through that Rust Belt and up into Pennsylvania, Ohio.
East of the Mississippi.
It's a lot that went for Trump. Also is dealing with this extreme drug addiction. And not that it isn't nationwide, because it is. But, man, you go to these old coal towns where they're all freaking about not having jobs. They're fucking all on drugs. This one kid was like, I can't go home. He was getting sober at rehab, and you could see the difference in him. 6 months, different person. He's like, I can't go home. He's like, both my mom and dad are on drugs. All my siblings are in drugs. Everyone I've ever known is on drugs. The entire fucking town is on drugs. Well, there's nowhere to go. So, like, you can't have a functioning society when we're not talking marijuana. We're talking totally crippling drugs that our pharmaceutical industries in America have wrought upon us. And they've bought out our, House of Representatives, our Senate. It's the problem here is deep, man.
Yeah.
It is deep, and it is not a simple fix. It has to start, and there's no way to start it. Revolution, motherfuckers.
Uh-oh.
It literally almost has to start with a revolution because there's no voting out our politicians. They've written the laws, and they're in there, they're entrenched, and they're taking money. And, until it starts with term limits and overturning that fucking Citizens United bullshit that no one even talks about anymore, where corporations are people, there's all kinds of dark money all throughout our politics. There is no fixing this ship. There's no righting this ship.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump is shitty. I'm sorry, but he's only exposed the bigger issue.
Yeah, that's been the thing with him. Is he the disease or is he the symptom?
I think he's the symptom.
Yeah.
He's the symptom.
Yeah. So that's totally true. I don't know. I do think we've talked shit about the Democrats before, but we technically have a two-party system, but we don't really. I mean, if we transferred our government to really any other, major quote unquote democratic society, we would have an extreme conservative party and a moderately conservative party. We don't have an actual left liberal anything anymore.
You don't think so? Because I think we almost have a more socialist group forming than ever before.
Well, starting to, but I mean in terms of people who are actually
in power.
In power, yes.
Yes. Because they're all part of the war machine.
Mm-hmm.
We're keeping up this military. God love our service members, and we do love you. But fuck, dude. They're just spending billions on top of billions unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Just buying instruments of war, creating war. If we got these motherfuckers out somehow and turn that on the money to heal and infrastructure,
mm-hmm.
Then we could start to see some change. But yeah, man, this train's off the tracks.
It is.
It's not just America. It's not just America. Maybe we led the way. I don't know. Fucking Great Britain and Brexit. It's a fear-based group of people, and like we said, I think a few weeks ago, it's the terrorists have won. There's no questioning that the terrorists have won. They completely changed the world.
They did what they set out to do.
They won. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations, you guys. Congratulations to the terrorists.
Right? They won. You won big time.
Yep. It was everyone doubted you. No one thought you could do it. But yeah, let's go to our post-game interview with Osama bin Laden.
You going to Disneyland, Osama?
They played a really good game, but we just stuck to our game plan, and executed.
We blew up one building.
Well, it's
and
two
changed
buildings.
the course
It's
of
buildings,
history. Two buildings.
Right?
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 hit the Pentagon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't really blow it up.
Mm-hmm.
We blew up a couple buildings and fucking changed the course of human history.
Yeah. That's some intense shit.
That's intense.
That's intense.
That's a lot to take in. Life was great before 9/11.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it was great, but it was better.
It was certainly better for us. I mean, that's the big question. Did 9/11 bring the shittiness of the rest of the world to America? Did that sort of I think we were sort of in a bubble.
We were.
And then
We've always been in a bubble.
Yeah. We still sort of are, but
except for the Revolutionary War was the last time anyone really tried to come over here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a bunch of fucking farmers beat them back.
Yeah, that's a little too history nerd for me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
You know why we won the Revolutionary War is because
Paul
we
Revere.
refused. Yeah, he was a good part of it.
Yeah.
We refused to line up gun to gun and face each other with the Brits and mow each other down. But for some fucking unknown reason, we went right back to it in the Civil War. The reason we won the Revolutionary War is because we were unconventional. We were terrorists. We hid behind trees. We spread out. We didn't just warfare up until that point was lining up in 2 rows and shooting at each other.
Yeah, I've never understood that.
And
that
for whatever
technique.
fucking reason, the Civil War went right back to that.
Yeah,
Who knows why?
it's kind of like the Purge. Maybe we got too many people.
Yeah.
Let's just get rid of them.
Yeah, what do they think? How many people do we have now?
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, where you are. There's plenty of room. That's the thing. We got plenty of space in this country, man. If we could get our shit together, we're not in danger of running out of space.
No.
We've got enough.
Some of the most beautiful land in this country is wide open.
Yeah. I mean, you take that whole Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho. You could fit everybody in the fucking country there comfortably, I feel like.
You want to get killed real quick. Talk about Wyoming growing big, and they'll come down and take care of you real fast. They're like, get the fuck out of here.
Don't want to tread on them.
Yeah. There was a stat that more people moved to Colorado in the last 7 years during the big migration from California and elsewhere. Over 500,000 people moved here since it's 2011 to 2016, and that's more than in the entire state of Wyoming. And then I saw something that there's 2 escalators in all of Wyoming.
So nobody was moving to Wyoming, huh?
No one's moving to Wyoming because there's nothing to do in Wyoming.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Wyoming. Personally, I'm up in Wyoming all the time, hiking, doing my thing because that's my world. That is
just that freedom, man. You don't have the government encroaching on your rights.
It's all about them government. No, for me it's just straight up people. I don't like people.
Yeah, they are not usually very good.
So therefore, give me a place where I don't run into people. You live in Los Angeles for 12 or so years and do a 3-hour commute a day from Redondo Beach to Century City and maintain a relative sense of sanity while you blank out to podcasts all day. And you tell me if you want to deal with people ever again. Some people do. I don't. I never liked them in the first place.
You don't want people. You should just come to the Mind Poison listening party.
You're right.
Hey!
Sure.
Yes.
Technically worldwide.
I like that we're worldwide on a technicality. That's a good.
Mind Poison is growing faster than we ever dreamed possible. Hey, and while we're there, quick shout out to our buddies over at Soul Shiver Radio in Los Angeles and Mark Foley curating the playlists. He's just opening my mind up to all these new albums, new musicians that I never would have heard of on the regular streaming services. He's amazing at what he does. He gives you a little history about everything. That's Soul Shiver Radio. Check him out on iTunes and SoundCloud. Amazing stuff.
That's very cool. Soul Shiver Radio.
Soul Shiver Radio. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a saying that many times. I feel like starts to get to be a little of a tongue twister.
Soul Shiver Radio.
Yeah.
Soul Shiver Radio. Brought to you by Mark Foley. He's a good man.
Reaching all the way out there to the lands of Wyoming.
Yeah. So World Cup, man, you finally did it. You finished.
Yeah, I finally did it. Yeah, it's been like a month ago by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, people are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, so, and, let's not talk about any more bad things. Can we try not to talk about any more bad things this episode?
We can try our best.
Man.
Are you down? Did I get you down?
You got me. No, it's just, that's what happens when you talk about things.
But it's good to talk about it. It's like why people go to therapy. It's in our very description is we talk about this shit so we don't have to pay for therapists. Sometimes you and I get a little tipsy and talk about the shit of the world.
I do not remember getting drunk at the last therapy session.
At some point, see, and I keep expecting you to offer up some fucking carte blanche cure for everything, and you're just gonna blow my mind.
Yeah. Well, it's percolating.
It's percolating. Let it percolate.
Is this getting too personal? What's your therapy experience?
My therapy experience?
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about the World Cup, I see.
No, I will talk about the
We can
World
talk
Cup.
about... I have never gone to therapy.
Never? Okay.
Not once, and God knows I've needed it.
I can tell.
I've had fucking foot doctors prescribe me anxiety meds. That's America, baby. You don't need to go to a shrink. You can have a foot doctor put you on fucking heroin and Lexapro, and you're good to go. And that's not a fucking joke. One time I went to a dermatologist. This old man in Century City, California, seriously old. Not only, he took a little clip out of me and was like, hey, you got so-and-so. He took a little biopsy out of my side. While I was there, he tested my blood. I had came back ultra high cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
He calls me up. They had me run. I'm not even fucking kidding. Run to the pharmacist to get a prescription for whatever that cholesterol reducing med is that everyone is on that's giving people like Alzheimer's.
That sounds great.
This motherfucker gave me that. When you go take your blood for a cholesterol test, you're supposed to fast for 24 hours. I had 3 hard-boiled eggs before going into his office, so I just had yolks sitting in my bloodstream. And this motherfucker takes my blood and a dermatologist determines that I need to be on these cholesterol meds ASAP. So I'm on them for about a week, feeling all fuzzy and not fuzzy, funky and weird. And I do a little research, and it's talks about how to fast, how eggs can spike your cholesterol levels if you're just digesting them when you take your blood. This motherfucker. That is America for you in a nutshell. You really do have foot doctors putting you on heroin.
He's on the take.
Yeah. They're just out of their element.
I don't know how a dermatologist should be able to prescribe a cholesterol medication.
Right?
That seems like a little
outrageous.
Yeah. You should see somebody about this. That I think would be
That's a fucking lawsuit.
Yeah.
Another American problem.
Do it. Do it. Sue him.
Yeah.
Sue him.
My suing days are over, bro. But back to it. I know I should have gone to a shrink, but I always thought they're gonna unravel more than they fix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I was gonna say, did you take psychology classes?
Yeah, I was the psychology major.
That's what I thought. So there you go. You're trying to self-diagnose.
Absolutely.
Yeah, figure out what's going on.
That's the reason I didn't go to grad school at the U of M for psychology. I did. I had that classic thing that they say a certain percentage of doctors get, a certain percent of psychologists get. What you start to think you have everything. There's like a 10% group of doctors, medical school doctors, who have to drop out because they start to think they have all these diseases.
Ooh, that's like a hypochondriac kind of thing.
Yeah, and that was me, baby.
Ooh.
I sat there in abnormal psych having panic attacks.
Ooh, does not sound fun.
It was not fun, and it is why I did not pursue more education in psychology.
It seems like a good reason.
Yeah, so if anyone needed a shrink, it was probably me, but I feared just becoming that. I don't know. What about you? Have you had any luck with shrinks?
No, I haven't. I honestly haven't been to a lot. I went to a few as a kid.
Child psychologist.
Yeah. After, my parents got divorced or whatever. I don't honestly remember a lot, but I don't feel like it was anything. I mean, I don't know. You never, as a kid, you don't have revelations, right? You don't have aha moments as a, fourth grader. So, I don't recall anything in particular about it. I remember going and I remember the building it was in and all that shit, but nothing noteworthy. And yeah, haven't done anything as an adult.
Do you ever think you should?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about it?
I mean,
in the last 3 to 4 years?
No, not really. I don't want to get too honest here. But no.
You can get honest. I get honest. I get real honest on this show.
No, I would say if it was anything I was gonna seek professional help for, it'd be I drink too much.
Really?
That would be it. But I think that is in its own way a certain sort of self therapy. You know what I mean? That self medication.
Right.
So
just keep it in check and you're all right.
Yeah. And I function fine. But I'm just I know I should not drink as much as I do. What are you gonna do?
That's most of the world.
It is. But
I mean, as long as your shit's not falling apart because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you rather be drinking or taking Lexapro and have no feelings whatsoever?
Yeah.
And most of America is just on pharmaceuticals. Most of the world is, I think, especially here. I don't know. Everything's, everyone's got their thing.
Yeah. And there's the other thing that's just like you said, in the last 3 or 4 years, since all the election shit has happened, that it's oh well, at least I can blame Trump for all my personal problems. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's oh yeah, I just drink a lot because I'm sad about the election, which might be true, but it might also just be a easy excuse.
The darkness outside shadows the darkness within.
Dun dun
Dun dun.
dun dun.
I mean, I've gone through a few phases. I went through some heavy anxiety in college and some depression in high school, as we've discussed. And I went through some heavy anxiety again out in Los Angeles. And I feel like that was just sheer overwhelming my senses out there. But anxiety is a weird situation. I mean, I don't know if... I know you've dealt with it because I know we've talked about these moments of getting to a bar before the people you're meeting get there and just kind of not knowing what to do,
right,
and freaking out. I mean, I developed some very specific tics that I can. Oh man, there were some tics where I had trouble eating out in restaurants with friends because my hand would shake. My hand would shake so bad, and then I'd get so nervous about my hand shaking that, dude, friends would be like, "Are you all right, dude?" Because I could fucking barely bring a fork to my mouth at times in my life.
Well, you hone in on it. You're this, oh my gosh, this is happening, and you can't not think about it.
And so, this was really debilitating. And it also became this situational thing at fucking Starbucks. For whatever reason, I'd go up to the counter, I'd order my coffee, and between the handoff of money to getting my coffee, my hand would shake so fucking bad, I'd have to, just shoot it out and hold it. Weird shit. And what I learned later on in life is I'm also very susceptible to low blood sugar. So the low blood sugar is what initially had me shaking when I was eating. And I can almost pinpoint the day that it happened. I was coming back from something with DA, and we were eating a breakfast, and he was like, dude, are you all right? And it was my low blood sugar. But at that point, it pinpointed into anxiety. And then anxiety took over. So it was no longer low blood sugar was the cause. It was that as this moment makes me anxious. It took me years to get over that. And most people, a lot of people don't. But, man, those are some weird personal tics that I had that, man, like, fuck, dude.
Well, it's good that you could identify it and, deal with it appropriately, And
yeah.
And yeah, because that sucks, man. That is one thing that's always, I mean, and I suppose there's just different types of anxiety or whatever, where I think I probably have more of a form of like social anxiety of just not really wanting to be around people.
Oh, mine extended into that as well.
Yeah. But just like you have a lot of friends. I don't. Like you, like that to me, being around a lot of people or knowing a lot of people or having to kind of keep track of people that's sort of where my issue is. Like, I'm just like, I do not feel comfortable about being like in a group or anything like that it's just like, so it is interesting that yours seems to be internal, but sort of external in terms of like perception, whereas mine's just sort of like, like you said, is it a stimulus thing? I don't know what point I'm trying to make, but
I know I think I understand what you're saying. That is the great, like, what is it, a paradox?
Mm-hmm.
For me,
I'll buy a paradox.
I'll buy a paradox.
I'll buy a paradox. Sounds good.
Is that yeah, people perceive me as social, and I'm fucking good in a party. But dude, it's not until I know you. It's not until I know I'm accepted. Is that
mm-hmm.
If I'm meeting someone for the first time, I'm better now than I was for a long time, but for a long time I had the fear of God in me of meeting people for the first time and being in a new social situation. Once I'm comfortable, I'm fine. The wife and I, when we were first together, I was not in the best of place. There were many nights where we were on our way to things, and I fucking stopped it.
Just pulled the plug.
Yep, had to make up an excuse that I was sick. I was sick an awful lot back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was sick in the fucking head, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, technically, it's not a lie.
Yeah, it's not a lie, and I'm way better than it than I used to be, and now I can kind of like battle through it, but it took me for years. For years, I was on meds, dude. I was on Lexapro, Ativan, all these like anxiety and depression meds. Now I'm off everything, and it was the fight of my fucking life to get off all that. We could do a whole episode on the struggle to get off these meds, how horrible they are, how they shouldn't have anyone on them unless you're about to fucking kill yourself. Because, dude, when I got off Lexapro, I was shaking for a month straight, staring at the wall like a crackhead, like sweating out. But I'd wake up every morning with my sheets just drenched.
Serious withdrawal?
Yeah, these are not light medicines. But I fought through, and I was like, I can do this. I can, cigarettes. I quit smoking, and I think cigarettes, like, bring up a lot of anxiety in people because it's like this rush of nicotine, this hardcore withdrawal. So I quit cigarettes. And I think that helped a lot for me. Got back to my meditation practice, working out. I really think before doctors ever prescribe anyone on anything who's depressed, they should do these first few things. They should say, start fucking working out.
Yes.
For an hour a day, like twice a day. Get your blood moving. Meditate. Slow your mind, calm your breath, connect with your quiet self. Prayers of gratitude, whether you call them prayers or just thoughts of gratitude. I'm thankful for this instead of I don't have this, I don't have this, I do have this. Like that shit goes a long, long way and that's that's what saved me. Was just like making a discipline of working out, meditating, and for me, writing. I love to write. I've always been a writer, and so I always say my three things are that: working out, meditating, and writing. If I do those every day, I know I will have a good day.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I feel like even one of those a day would probably help a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just if it's writing, whatever, doing something you're into, engaging your brain, engaging your body, right? Like, you're exercising. My God, I notice the difference from when I ride my bike to work or take the bus. Like, you feel better when you move, you know? And I think so many people are so sedentary that's,
Right.
that is a problem.
Why are these hate groups in America, these groups you're talking about, these gamer groups, they're not moving. They never move their body.
Just take a spin class.
Just take a spin class and we'd have 75% less hate in this country. Fucking swear to God, that's not untrue. People need to move their bodies.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's true. Well, remember when I said let's not talk about anything serious anymore? Really nailed that.
Yeah, we're not worried about sticking to the plan. I think that was a great chat.
Yeah, it was good. It was good stuff. But back to where we somehow started with the World Cup.
The World Cup.
And this isn't really going to technically be about the World Cup, but I was watching it, and I made a little note in my phone. And granted, this was like a couple weeks ago, and probably be almost a month ago by the time this episode comes out. But the opening line from one of the announcers was, "Welcome to the greatest collective experience we have as human beings, the World Cup final." And I was just like, holy shit, that's intense. Like, this is a sporting event.
Yeah, the greatest collective experience.
But then I was like, I think he's right. I can't think of anything else that would trump the World Cup final. You know?
Right?
Like, is there anything you could think of? I was like, there's certain holidays, but those are all tied in with religion,
nationalism, and religion.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So, like, in terms of just sheer togetherness, I don't know if there's anything bigger than that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I mean, it's like the Super Bowl for the world.
It's like electing a new pope. There you go with the religion, but
yeah,
that's kind of on par for some people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be on par. But yeah, that I would say soccer. You know, we always talk about American football, and then you put it against, real football, and the ratings are trumped. I mean, soccer is the world draw.
Yes.
And so the World Cup final, that probably is fair to say that is one of the greatest collective experiences we have as human beings.
I think you could say the greatest collective experience we have as human beings could maybe be death. That's not all happening at once.
And is it collective, right?
Is not really collective. Yeah, I guess everyone goes through that alone. But
I think that's the most beautiful experience we probably have as human beings.
Uh-oh.
Let's not go into that, ladies and gentlemen.
We're getting into kiss the girls territory.
Kiss the girls. No, we are not getting into serial killer shit. We're getting into death as a release. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we save something like this for when the aliens visit, and we all have to unite against the aliens. Right?
You're saying we're uniting against them? What if they're cool?
Don't you think the cool? I mean, yeah. Let's say if they're cool, that's one thing. Hell yeah, Hell yeah. You some Joe Biden aliens.
Oh, it's the Joe Biden aliens. Oh.
But let's say aliens come that are not cool. That is the one thing that will cure the Earth. For how long? Who knows? If the people of Earth could come together for a opposing force, that would probably be, well, see how long it lasts, but people would probably come together and drop their shit for a minute.
So you're thinking like that documentary you watched, Independence Day.
Yeah.
Could be the real deal?
Narrated by William Smith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I might see what the aliens have to offer. If they're, aliens, if you're out there, you want a little inside information, Come to Jesse.
Would you go if the aliens seem cool? Would you go with them?
Oh, if they seem cool? I mean, I guess it depends how cool and like what's the situation. I mean, how well can I communicate with them?
You communicate through thought.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy. It's gonna be a little boring to you. You're not gonna be able to keep up with what they're bringing. So it's probably wouldn't be the greatest to go with them.
Well, I have been reading the Book of Urantia, so I mean, I feel like I got a head start.
Have you been reading it?
Like the first 10 pages, but so at least they got something, you know.
Yeah.
And I like aliens. I like the idea that they're out there. I think I'm a pretty cool guy, you know.
I'm pretty cute.
I could introduce the aliens to some cool stuff around here, you know, some nice, some good beers, some good bike trails.
Yeah. What do you think about the theory that aliens are more? I mean, clearly there are more advanced form because they figured out how to get here if they could. But the skinny bodies, the big heads, just sort of like where our evolution is sort of looking like it might be going if we can advance. We're losing our body hair. We're growing bigger brains.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of the archetypical alien, depiction.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would assume, like, I could kind of see where that would be the case, but I would assume other worlds, other environments, like different sorts of things are gonna evolve. You know what I mean? So like how life could evolve on one world would not necessarily look like us, you know? So I don't know. I mean, I could buy it. With anything with aliens, I'm just like, sure, just get here.
Just get here already. Fix our shit.
Just help us out.
It's like get here, have a magic cure for everything. Just put us in a happy fucking Molly state.
That's all we want, aliens.
That would be great. Just bring some everlasting Molly.
Mm-hmm. Sprinkle it down from the heavens.
Yeah, and people can just be happy and get along, and that'd be great.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would hope that the aliens would be cool. That would be my hope, my expectation.
Do you think we'd be cool if we were the aliens?
No. Not at all.
Yeah, right?
I think we've seen that in places where we are the aliens, it hasn't panned out real well for the native races. So I would say no, we would not be cool.
We're praying that if you have the ability to get somewhere that we can't even comprehend, that you're evolved enough to sort of this, hopefully, peaceful mind, this all-accepting one mind that...
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I hope, like how sometimes I go out and if there's like ants on the ground, I don't try and kill them. You know, if I step on them accidentally or whatever, that happens. But if there's bugs or spiders or whatever, I'm just like, do whatever you're going to do, spider. Doesn't matter to me. Like, that's kind of how I hope aliens are when they come to us. Be like, I get you guys are nothing as far as I'm concerned, but you got your own thing going on. You do what you're going to do. You know, I'm not going to just destroy you for no reason.
One would hope.
But we'll see, you know. Maybe they want some of that sweet... What would aliens be after? What are they even after? They harvest the bodies of people?
What would you say after all these, thousands and thousands, millions and millions of years, whatever, humans get visited and what they want is Donald Trump because they want a real leader? What if you suck shit? Would you just be like, fuck me?
I'd be like, please take him.
Take him.
Oh.
Donald Trump, I could see him tweeting about this. Clearly, they've come for me.
They wanted me.
They wanted me all along.
What if they came down and there were thousands of them and they were all just like variations of Donald Trump? Was like thousands and thousands with the wispy comb over and orange tans.
That'd be I don't even know where to go with that.
That's a terrifying invasion.
I don't even know where to go with that.
Oh my gosh.
Have you had to shush anyone lately?
You know, I did. It's a true story.
It's a hot segue.
It was natural. No one will even notice.
Yeah. Shush. Yeah, that goes right along with alien invasion.
Yeah, all that alien shushing.
Aliens? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, sometimes how an alien comes up to you and you just gotta go, shh, alien. Shut up.
Good alien. Shh.
No, I do remember every time probably I've ever had to shush someone in public, and it's almost always been in like movie theaters.
Oh yeah.
And there's just like someone fucking talking, and you let them go for a little while, because I don't feel like you don't want to be the guy that shushes people right away. But I'm sort of like, eventually you become aware that this is going to be a problem, and then you wait for someone else to do it, and no one does, and you're like, I guess it's got to be me.
You were born to shush.
So this was not a movie theater situation. This was a concert experience recently for me.
Oh. You shush someone at a concert?
It would not be. I think it would be the equivalent of shushing at a concert. It was a put your phone down situation. He was in front of us and holding up his phone real high, so like all the people behind him couldn't see.
Yeah.
You know, and to me,
and it wasn't a millennial show where there were thousands of phones being held up.
I mean, there were people taking pictures.
Yeah.
Or short videos, and that's cool. I get that. But this was the type of guy that's recording. I'm going to record entire songs. So I let him have one, you know. He records the whole song, and then he goes up.
Hey, buddy, this one's on me.
He goes up for the next one, and I'm just like, holy shit, okay, no one's going to say anything about this, even though it's just he's clearly being a dick. And my wife was kind of in front of me, and he was in his way too, and be like, should I say something about this? And she's like, no, fine. But then another like 30 seconds went by. I'm just like, I can't abide by this anymore.
Good.
Yeah. So just, tapped him on the shoulder and just like, put your fucking phone down, dude. Like, why are you doing this?
Did you say it like that?
No, I mean, it was loud. So I just like,
emotion.
I pantomimed.
Can you fucking please?
I pantomimed.
Yeah, you couldn't see my motion in there, but there was a lot of hands.
Phone down.
Did he follow suit?
He did, yeah. Because, I mean, if he didn't, I don't know what I would have done. I mean, at that point.
Your first fight was brewing.
Yeah, there we go. We go. And incidentally, it was a guy who earlier in the night we ran into and asked us what time the main act started. So we had a little repertoire with this guy.
So he knew you when he saw you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He had to have.
Yeah, I could have recognized me. He could have been super trash too. So I don't know. But so then he moved like 3 or 4 feet over and then kept filming it, but it wasn't in my face anymore. So
were these stationary seats, or were you in like general admission?
Yeah, general admission, like open floor scenario.
So he moved over and pissed off a new set of people.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah. But it's that circumstance that's shushing people at the movie theater. I feel like put down your phone is the concert equivalent of that. And I hate doing it so bad. And it almost makes my heart race. I don't want to do it. And then I dwell on it. And I'm not going to the point where I can be like, oh, it ruins the night. But it takes more of my thought process than I want it to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So it was a bummer.
You can't just shush and then get what you want and pretend like nothing happened. You dwell. You replay the shush. You replay that interaction about 1,000 times in your head. You're going to sleep that night and you're replaying the shush in your head, and how sometimes it turns into a brawl and sometimes it turns out peaceful. I get that.
You're recording a podcast 6 days later and you feel obligated to fucking talk about it, you know?
I think that's a good sign that you're an empathetic, caring, compassionate human being. I think the people who are able to have a conflict interaction and in the next moment it never existed, I think that's one you want to watch out for.
Yeah, watch out for that. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
If you're gonna have a conflict, it should be real. It should be necessary, and yeah, it should bother that you had that conflict, and hopefully you're making someone aware. Although I doubt our impact this day and age, but
I did get a pat on the back from someone behind me, so. That was it. All ended up.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. I mean, I didn't turn
slow clap.
I didn't turn around to acknowledge him, but there were about 40 or 50 people around me that just started clapping, and they were like,
Totally.
"Let's hoist him up on our shoulders so we can all thank him."
Get this guy on stage.
Yeah. He really deserves it.
Yeah.
He's the hero.
One of your thoughts going through your head before falling asleep was you playing like a solo with the guitar.
Should have brought me up here. Did you see what I did? Did you see how brave I was?
You guys see that I stood up for justice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do think you are standing up for justice in that scenario, and when people are talking in movie theaters, you are making a just call. If you're gonna record shit at a concert, put it in front of your own face, please.
Oh yeah, or just sit it on your shoulder, something like that.
Like, yeah, keep it under your head. Like, that's all. Like, you're just recording it. I've seen people record shit in a respectful way. Great, do whatever you want. I still think it's dumb, but
it's so stupid. No one looks at it again.
Mm-hmm.
No one looks at these videos again. They might, maybe he's got some Instagram followers or whatever the fuck, but, like, no one cares.
Yeah. You're basically shooting it in the off chance that tragedy strikes, I feel like.
I'm really hoping for a shooting right now. God bless you, Manchester. Fuck. That was the Ariana Grande show.
Yeah,
that was God.
Yeah, but that was an explosion.
Yeah.
That was not a shooting.
It was? I thought it was a shooting, too.
No, I think it was a big bomb, if I recall correctly.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Well, I've got some pals over in Manchester, and I reached out after that because he was a big music guy, too, and they were pretty shaken.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, see, you and all your friends, man.
Oh, fucking technically worldwide, bro.
Worldwide friends.
Met this crew.
Yeah, you're not talking about British Bob, are you?
Yeah, fucking cut. Nah, talking about this crew. We on the honeymoon, we were over in Ireland, and we met this family from Manchester and partied with them all night. Just got wrecked in Kilkenny, Ireland,
nice.
And have stayed in touch since.
Cool.
And we went on like castle tours the next day. I've never been so hungover, and I had to like drive on the wrong side of the road down to like another city, and it was one miserable day. But we had a blast. Well, buddy, I don't know what else I have. I think that I'm about blown for the evening.
About blown? Oh man,
I don't know. That sounded wrong? I'm not blown. No one's actually blowing me. Not that I'd mind it.
I don't know that's not a real phrase, is it?
Maybe I'm digging myself in a hole.
I might be blown. I have a blown tire.
Yeah, I've got a blown. I'm blown for the evening. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's a new one, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, there we go. Hey,
I'm blown.
There's the catchphrase. Mind Poison Podcast. I'm
blown for the evening. Yeah.
Oh.
You got anything else?
Nope. I don't.
You want a little
Wish I did.
Quick fun fact?
Yeah, I could take a little fun fact.
According to a 2014 survey by a Christian retailer in Nashville, 7% of Christian Americans pray for parking spaces.
Oh, well.
Would you guess under or above for that? I would have thought it was slightly more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe they asked like 12 people and one person said yes. I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm not trusting the surveys by the Christian retailers.
Yeah, fuck this poll. Do you pray for a parking spot? I don't know. Yeah, sometimes.
No, man. I'm all about let's park far away and walk.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like open spot. Give me a couple open space in a row. What is with? I love it when you see people like who you just see some woman in her fitness gear who spent the last 6 hours at the gym, and she's circling the parking lot waiting for the first spot to open.
I gotta find this good spot.
That is always irony to me. It's you gotta. It's always 5 seconds. You park in the back, and it's literally like a 5 second. There's an American problem, you people. Let us know if that happens in Europe.
I don't think they have these big parking lots there.
Yeah, there's better public transportation.
People walk. They take the tram.
They ride their bicycles.
Yeah. Because I'm all about park far away, walk, man.
Me too. I love it.
Yeah, I don't want to dick around with trying to find a spot, and it's no good.
It's like when you said last week that you don't trust people without magnets or pictures on their fridge. That was a cutting, perfect kind of, I don't know, a snippet of life of what makes us up. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little afraid now, though, that if I know people that listen to this, I'm going to go to someone's house and they're not going to have shit on their fridge.
We've insulted some neat motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, I know. That's why we need to get custom magnets, mindpoisonpodcast.com, and just put them on their fridges, because I do not agree with vandalizing. I don't agree with spray painting or graffiti or markering shit, but I'll put a magnet on something. That's fine.
Unless you're pooping on an H2. Film that shit and put it on the YouTube.
That was just an idea.
Those were ideas of high school that I somehow drudged up.
That was never put into action.
No, it wasn't. I'm sure it's happened somewhere. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I would. I really do hope there's a subreddit out there or something where that exists.
It's called Pooping on a Hummer.
Pooping on a Hummer.
Pooping on a Hummer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, we'll let you go. Have yourselves a wonderful week. As always, I love you. Jesse thinks you're okay.
Yeah, I think you're okay. We still haven't really bonded yet.
But you will.
We will, yeah. Keep trying. Maybe someday.
Maybe one day.
Maybe
one day we'll do it. Could you ever see yourself doing a live show if they requested that?
Just me?
No, like us at like a We Hate Movies thing.
Oh, like I think it would be more like a stadium show, like a Tyler Swift kind of thing.
A Tyler Swift. It'd be like one of them Tyler Swift shows.
Maybe we could open for her. We
could.
Yeah.
Tyler Swift opening up for Mind Poison podcast.
Oh, she's opening for us now.
Oh yeah, she'd open us.
That'd really be shaking it up.
What would our encore be? I have no idea.
Dear Mind Poison. Ask Mind Poison.
This crowd loses their shit for Ask Mind Poison. All right, everybody. We love you. We'll see you later. Have a grand week.
Indeed.
I'm Mark.
I'm Jesse.
And this has been
Mind Poison.
Poison.
Nice.